Okay, so
All right.
I have my observation notes on the planning conversation document, but then I've got um, reflecting questions that I shared with
Yeah, I
you.
saw you share them.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's just start first, and then we'll go back and look at the notes. How did the small group lessons with Charlie and Mao go?
I think they went well. Charlie's is more manageable because of his group and because of his skill level.
Mm-hmm.
He, what's most difficult with him is he needs a lot of my attention in an emotional, behavioral way.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was interesting. His response at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you notice, he'll just reach over and like hold my arm. Like he
Oh.
just needs, and I think it's partly because he's been away from his mom for so long. And so he almost sees me like a motherly
Yeah.
type figure because he hasn't had his mom around for months because she's still in China.
Right.
And so I think it was fine with him. He also gets frustrated when he can't spell the words perfectly and he knows it's not perfect.
Yeah.
So that frustrates him. Okay, I'll be there soon. Okay, so Mao's was good. He actually picked it up a little quicker than I thought he might. He's just at that stage, I think. You guys probably have a fancy name for it, but he's like just absorbing words all the time, like several words a day. So
he's on the uptick of the spike. Thank you.
Yep. And then the data, I guess, is in these little books, and I did look through them just a little bit, but I really watched as they were doing them, so there wasn't any surprises there. Again, Charlie, I had to really encourage him to sound out nose, which became N-O-Z, and you could tell he knew that wasn't right, and he was unhappy about it. But I just said, that's great, great job. Those are all the sounds you hear. Gave him a hug. Let's move on.
And how does that compare to what other students were doing for a word like nose? Is that
they would write N-O-Z and they would be thrilled that they had all the sounds.
So he just doesn't get it that that's what everybody else is doing. Like
right.
He has higher
it
expectations.
To be perfect. So, yeah.
Wow.
And he knew that wasn't quite right. And then I kind of like went back and forth in my head, like, should I just spell it for him? But that doesn't really help him to grow and learn. So
what might be a way to like ease his anxiety, but without giving him the answers, or feeding, like you just said, it doesn't help.
Well, I think I just encouraged and I said, you know what sound that is. Write it down. And he did, begrudgingly. But yeah. And I said, great job, you did great. Here's a hug. Go on to your next station. So, yeah.
Do you think he understands any of the conversation that you have with the class about growth mindset?
I don't know that he does. That's something I could probably talk to Lauren about doing for him.
Because I see that as,
yeah,
he either gets it right or he doesn't. He doesn't get the value of like struggling and figuring things out, even if it's not perfect.
Right. And I know, like, culturally, just from what I've seen, that there's a big push for doing it right. Another student that I had that has left to go back to China already sent home a bunch of his writing one day, and he brought it all back and said, my mom said it's all wrong. And I was just like, so that was a conversation with the parents about what we expect, but I think, we can have those conversations, but culture is just ingrained. I mean, there's only so far we can, and our intent should not be to change that, I don't think, but work with it. So
I agree, it's important to be sensitive to your culture.
So and then Mao's, again, I was surprised. He picked up on the word C right away. I had to stop him and have a conversation about the word seeds being a different word.
Yep.
Um,
Was
but
he the
got
only
it.
one having that problem, or
No,
there were?
there's
Yeah,
other kids
okay.
that do the same thing. And he got it right away.
Mm-hmm.
And then he did, and I didn't anticipate this, I should have. He was getting confused between seed, the word seed, and label, because we were talking about these are labels.
Oh.
And so I said, and then the first label is seeds. But I think he had it by the end. Because then I came back and I said, now where are the labels? And he
Yeah.
would show me, and where are the seeds? And he would show me. So, but for a minute there was a little bit of like, there's two new words being thrown at me, which I did not think through. So that's something that I learned from this. But by the end, he was labeling quite well with an arrow. And he's always like, once he like gets it, he's really eager to. And then at the end, I just had him label all the seeds so that I knew he was also identifying the seeds.
And I'm trying to remember, did he actually say seed back
Yeah.
to you too?
Several times, yeah.
Sometimes from where I was, I couldn't hear exactly too. So
he was repeating about everything.
yeah, in
that
some
I
of my
said.
notes, you'll see that sometimes I have things, and sometimes there's a couple places I said stuff like it was
'cause
inaudible.
he's very quiet or his head was down.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the part about leaf and stem, I couldn't tell for sure how much he was saying versus it was just you prompting.
Mm-hmm.
And then here's, okay, so I did hear you say this is a label, a word and an arrow.
Yeah.
So now I understand that was you trying to distinguish between.
Label and seed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, they're gonna come in here and get loud.
Okay, so let's skip ahead a little bit then. Let's go down to the new learning part. From teaching this lesson, planning, and then seeing how it worked out. What new learnings?
Well, I really liked how it went with having him do the initial sound, which is something that he's capable of. Not right now. Later. And then doing the initial sound, and then we did some word stretching. This was him writing pod.
Okay.
So he first wrote a backwards P and the H.
Yeah.
And then he went back and made an O and a D.
Okay.
So he, but he's trying. I mean, that's progress. And then once he was labeling seed, he learned how to spell that pretty quickly. And so he was doing that on each page. And the back actually really helped me know that he knew what a seed was, because I said count the seeds. That was the only clue that I gave him, and he did it.
Yeah.
So it was like this.
Can you show me later because I'm having a meeting?
How would I apply
Yep.
this? I think by just continuing to do the same kind of thing. It really, like, books like this, I think, are awesome
Yeah.
for his vocabulary, and we're doing a lot of them next week. So, hi. Go line up, please.
So how's the
Keeping his
conversation?
focus, or this
Oh,
one?
that one. Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay. Whichever one.
No. I think he just has to sit close to me and try to keep his bottom on the stool. I usually don't care if kids stand up, but he was moving like further and further away from
Yeah.
the table.
Yeah, when I recorded once, I know at least that you told him to sit down.
Yeah. And he knows, and he's like, okay. As you reflect on this conversation, how has it supported your learning? It just really helps to talk it through with somebody, and especially somebody with your expertise in this area, because it's something we don't often have time or lots of opportunities to
Right.
do. And so when I'm trying to manage 24 other kids, sometimes I feel like I'm just trying to get him by, where I need to be devoting a little bit more intentional planning there. So it's a give and take. But I do feel like that intentional planning doesn't seem as scary or looming anymore. It's like it's pretty basic. I just need to spend like 2 extra minutes thinking about
Sure.
how can I tweak this for him.
Right.
So,
And hopefully it's going to spill over into the
and it
others
did,
of
and
the
it
group,
helped.
too.
I mean, the whiteboard helped everyone.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right, great. And I know Lauren's here too. I mean, she's not here all the time, but
Right. Oh yeah,
She-
she's super helpful.
yes.
I know.
She's very
awesome.
reflective too.
I know. Yes, she is. Yeah.
She eats
And
up
we
this
love to
country.
plan together, so
Yeah. Yes.
we will do that.
All right.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thank you.